Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second day of this summit on Indian manufacturing competitiveness. Today we have a whole bunch of speakers, actually 3 sessions that we are going to have during the day, and the original schedule was planned to kind of have an extra speaker, but given that today is a holiday, and a happy Raksha Bandhan to all of you, we would try to schedule dynamically and maybe even move some of the talks a little earlier so that we can finish the day a little earlier for all of you to get home. But without further delay, let me request Professor M. Ram Mohan Rao to come here and give the welcome address for today for any new participants and introduce ISB and tell us a little bit about the center if he can, and followed by Dr. Ajit Kambil's address, kind of give us the opening remarks for today's sessions, and then we can start with Professor Sridhar Seshadri's sessions.
Thank you, Milan. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. And on behalf of the entire ISB community, I want to extend a very warm welcome to all of you. I did that yesterday, but Milan says that there will be additional participants coming, that I should welcome them as well. It is a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad that many of you were here yesterday as well, and I think some of you have just come this morning. I talked about the center, so I don't want to bore many of you with talking about the center, but let me briefly talk about the ISB. Among other things, I don't think I talked much about ISB as such, more about the center. ISB was started about 4 years ago, 4.5 years maybe, by a group of industrialists and academicians who felt that we need a top-ranked world-class institute located in India that would emphasize cutting-edge research and groom leaders for not only for India but also for the rest of the world. So our vision is to become top-ranked, research-driven institute that will, with the flagship program being the 1-year program. Now, some of you might be wondering why it's a 1-year program. I think it was designed to be 1 year because we take students with experience, which is true in many of the US universities as well. But in India, we find that people who are working don't want to take 2 years off. It's too much of an opportunity cost for them to be away 2 years. Initially, I think the ISB, although I was not here, but I'm told it was they had to justify a 1-year program in a sense, sort of a defensive kind of thing, and always saying that we are a 1-year program and so on. But now it has become the unique selling proposition of the institute, of the school, because there are lots of other schools that are starting 1-year programs. And as I always say, imitation is the best form of flattery. So I think we are happy that the 1-year program is catching on, and I think we have a head start in that respect. So our institute has raised a lot of funds. You see this excellent infrastructure thanks to the generous donation by various individuals, corporations, both in India as well as abroad. I always get asked this question because in the initial years, I think the school had financial difficulties, and I talk. Even yesterday, I was asked by some people, we talk to them and they'll talk about how the school is coming, and they'll slip in a question, how is the financial situation? I want to assure all of you that we are very stable. Last year, we broke even operationally. This year, we have break even financially, covering the interest burden. Next year, we'll be able to cover even our normal capital expenses. We are, of course, always on a fund-driving efforts, and I think we will continue to raise funds. We have been very successful. I think with our executive board, who is who of the Indian corporate world, I don't think we'll have that much problem. They have donated generously, and they help us in this effort. I must say that the centers, I talked about the centers yesterday. The center, Wadhwani Center, has received generous donation from Mr. Ramesh Wadhwani and continues to support that. Analytic Finance Center has received the support from the Goldman Sachs Foundation, and we expect to get support from the Citi Foundation also. And the manufacturing center, we will be getting support from TAFE, Tractors and Farm Equipment, and we are hoping that we will also get support from the Hero Honda Group and others. So it's on the anvil, and as I said, we are now in stable equilibrium, and we are poised for growth, and we are emphasizing a lot of research. And in this effort, I hope you'll all contribute towards the development of the school. And we want to be, as I said earlier, doing cutting-edge research. And part of this effort is this centers of excellence and conferences like this. Without much ado, I will leave it to Mr. Ajit Kamble to talk about the summit and other aspects. But let me once again extend a very warm welcome to all of you. I hope you had a good chance of walking around the campus last night, those of you who were here, and had a pleasant stay. But I'm sure today will be stimulating as it was last evening's inaugural function. Let me again extend a very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you for coming.
Hi, I'm Ajit Campbell. I lead Deloitte Research, which is Deloitte's global think tank. And on behalf of Deloitte, it's really a pleasure to welcome you all to this conference, which we are very excited about on Indian manufacturing. I want to begin by thanking a number of people who really helped pull this conference together. Sridhar and Anand Iyer first suggested that we do a conference here. Peter Kudal on my team and Kumar in our Indian practice, Milind, and a number of other people, Candace, all worked extremely hard to put together what I think is a superb program that began yesterday evening and will continue today, looking at various aspects of manufacturing, from the automotive sector to providing some early benchmarking results that we have collected in collaboration with a number of companies in India. So I think you'll be excited by the agenda that we have today. What I want to do also is just to give you a brief snapshot of what Deloitte does and what Deloitte Research in particular does. In some ways, we're kind of like a business school. We try to do research. We don't have teaching loads, but we do have other kinds of loads that we have to bear within the firm. So I want to give you a quick snapshot of what Deloitte Research does and share with you our agenda, both in terms of the wide range of research we're covering, as well as what we are looking at as problems in the areas of manufacturing. And after that, I'd like to invite you to participate with us both in our various research efforts as well as in other ways. So let me move forward and just give you a snapshot of Deloitte. Deloitte consists of a number of different member firms in various countries that provide professional services in the areas of attest, tax, financial advisory, and consulting. And we have over 100,000 employees worldwide in over 40 countries, and our India firm has over 2,000 staff. Deloitte Research is a very small unit in this large and great organization. It's a research initiative across our member firms, and what we do is we focus on developing original and enduring ideas that we can bring to the marketplace, developing various kinds of fact-based insights, the kind of thing that we will share partly with you through our global benchmarking survey, and then we work on enabling service innovations, both for Deloitte as well as bringing tools to the marketplace, and we distribute that through reports, client briefings, and workshops. Our team is about 20 people worldwide with really deep industry expertise, and 3 of the team are here today, and we have select functional expertise with half the group with PhDs from leading schools. How do we select our research topics? How do we look for things that matter to clients? What we do is we look at 3 key domains of change, if you like. And in most of those areas, you can look at the broad trends that are occurring. In technology, you know that there are certain areas that are evolving. and they're all at different stages in a life cycle. In different industries, you can look at very nascent business models versus industries that are in late stages where they're consolidating tremendously. And then you look at various socio-economic disruptions. And from these, we begin to select various research topics and programs that are of most concern to our clients. And effectively what we do is develop 4 types of analyses and products. The first is sort of economic analysis. And Ira Kalish, our global economist, is here today, and he gives, he gives some of the best presentations on global economic outlooks, and we do US and global outlooks, indices on consumer spending and so forth. In the various industries that we serve, Deloitte goes to market through 9 industries. We worked in 6 of them to do very industry-specific research. In the case of manufacturing, Peter Kudal, who's here, has led that initiative for us, and one of its flagship research initiatives is what we call the Global Benchmark Survey. Udayan referred to it yesterday. We have a database now of over 800 companies or business units that have responded to that survey worldwide, and it is one of the deepest and most comprehensive supply chain databases that exists out there. In addition to what we do with that Global Benchmark Survey, we're working on things like service parts management. Dean Rao talked about imperfect supply chains, addressing currency risk. Anant talked about the issues of what would happen if the currency, the Indian currency, were to rise in terms of manufacturing, in terms of labor. We're looking at those kinds of issues for our clients. And then RFID and ubiquitous computing technologies and its likely impacts on supply chains. The other kind of thing we do is you can take most of our industry work, but they kind of also map into 4 cross-industry platforms. And we have been focusing on China. And with this conference, and why this conference is important to us, is we're beginning to move our focus towards India. In the area of China, we've done a number of studies that look at investing and managing in China. We'll be coming out very soon with a study on venture capital and private equity, where we talk to all the leading VC and private equity players to identify, the lessons learned in terms of successful investment there. We have done industry and economic analyses. We've done analyses of how technology capability is evolving in China and how standards are being used as a competitive tool by firms in China, and what the appropriate responses might be from global players. Our second kind of platform is one around value innovation and value protection, given both aspects of our firm in consulting and attest, if you like. So we have worked on innovation, where Michael Rayner wrote one of the best-selling books with Clay Christensen, The Innovator's Solution, and we're now working on another book around what we call strategic flexibility. And the core idea there is, how do you manage strategic uncertainty and risk, and how should strategy be formulated as a series of options by firms? And then we do work on risk management, identifying risk categories, and ways of improving risk management, both within the enterprise and in the extended enterprise. The other platform